Ready or not, summer is coming, and Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance is on now. Right now through May 25th, get up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus, score amazing doorbuster deals all sale long and surprise flash deals on Memorial Day. We're talking thousands of products at every style and budget. Now is the time to save big on must-haves for your patio, backyard, and beyond. These savings won't last, so don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance now through May 25th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
It's time for the Larry H. Miller Utah Summer Games at Southern Utah University in Cedar City. Register today to participate in the 40th anniversary season of a Utah sports tradition at utahsummergames.org. Participate in over 50 sports around the state. Then plan to join the opening ceremonies Friday, June 5th, presented by State Bank of Southern Utah. Register today to participate in the 40th anniversary season of the Larry H. Miller Utah Summer Games.
You're locked on to Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb.
Now I know y'all are tripping.
Presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Scott Gerard alongside the coach, Tim LaComb, as the Jazz get set for the number 2 overall selection. There was a lot of conversation about A.J. Dybantsa, and he was at the lottery, and when he found out that the Wizards had received the number 1 pick, there were some that was try to read the body language, and the body language didn't look good. But AJ gave his response to what that body language actually meant.
I mean, I am used to it. I mean, I've been all over social media since I was about 13. You know, you're trained not to react. A lot of the top players, like Cooper Flagg last year, and you can go down the line, just have no reaction at all. You don't want to seem too happy. You don't want to seem too down. So I just kept a straight face, kept the poker face. But, people just going to, make their own assumptions. So,
did you read anything into it?
I didn't. I know that AJ, if the one thing he is, and he said it, he's been on social media since 13. He's really good at what he does.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And he understands it, even to the point where he studied Cooper Flagg the year before. This is a guy who, since he was 13, he's wanted to be the number 1 pick. It's really, really important to him. And so that passes the muster for me. I think he's just trying to be stone-faced and not give any kind of read. But knowing his affinity for this place and the relationships he already has in place that would make it so easy for him, there had to have been some disappointment in it.
Yeah. Because
if the other thing happens, it's just a foregone conclusion that in his mind, I'm going to the Jazz, and I'm going to stay in Utah the rest of my time.
And, again, that's what's appealing, I think, for Jazz fans, even more than A.J. the player, is A.J. the pillar in the community that will accept every max contract that comes his way, will never flirt about leaving, will never demand his way out, won't get sideways with political leaders, all the other stuff that's been just, because the Jazz fans, look, they got their heart broke with Donovan. Donovan came in and was awesome right out of the gate, got him to the Western Conference semifinals after Gordon Hayward had ripped their heart out the year before. Donovan comes in as a rookie. He's smiling. He's having a great time. He's showing up at 4th of July pool parties, anywhere in the state of Utah. He shows up at the Jazz 3-on-3 competition just to hang out. And the community's like, hey, we have a guy. He's our guy. He loves it here. He's going to thrive here. And he did for a minute, and then it got sideways. And I think Jazz fans are like, okay, you get out of a little bit of a relationship, you got your heart broke, and you're like, you know what? I don't care who it is. I just want somebody to want me. And they look at AJ. That's a guy that would want me and want to be here and would be here for a long time. So even if he's not the best player available, we don't care because he is a elite player and he doesn't want to be here. And he does want to be here. So let's make this happen. So I think the drive for getting him in a Jazz uniform is just palpable here in Salt Lake City. And
I certainly know that, that's something that's got to be felt by the organization.
Yes.
It was one thing when it was a guy like Jimmer who was, going to be toward the end of the lottery, perhaps a place where the Jazz could flirt with him, but not really. This is one, obviously, that could happen, and, the BYU contingent's over the moon about it, and rightfully so. And so we'll see. I'm just not convinced that the difference between these guys, the delta, is even that strong.
Yeah.
I see guys, like, when you look at the league, there are guys who are a guy like DeMar DeRozan, who's a very, very good player in his own right, but he impacts the game differently than, say, a Steph Curry does. And really, in some cases, I think that's what you're talking about. You're talking about so many different type skill sets here. And so where it looks like it's just got to be this guy or it's just got to be that guy, go back and look at the drafts in the past and look how many it's just got to be this guy. It didn't work out. Right now everything's a pipe dream, but I do believe in these top 4 picks, you got 4 guys that can impact your team positively for a long time. And it's just up to the Jazz to figure out which one fits all, checks most of the boxes. Not all. Nobody's going to check all the boxes.
No. But it is a special class, and look, you've got 4 guys that can check off the majority of the boxes, and AJ knows it's a really elite group of players.
So you said something about Donovan Mitchell. You said something about Donovan Mitchell I want to get to in a minute.
Yeah, well, here's AJ talking about the group of players.
We're just super versatile as a group, and we're super exciting to watch. Like, I think a lot of us just can make a lot of highlight plays, but also playing the game the right way.
Yeah, and so he goes on to talk about the group of players, why they're so special, why they have a chance to be really, really good. And I think that it's look, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. And the other element to this as well, and we talk about why AJ means a lot, but you look at the other element to this in terms of BYU and Kevin Young essentially putting him in a situation where he can be successful.
Just KY coming from the NBA, I think that he brought me a lot of knowledge. So watching a lot of film of KD and D-Book and, giving even knowledge to Rob about CP3 and when he coached him, Joel Embiid film, like it goes on and on and on. And he kind of put us in like an NBA offense, NBA defense, scoring early in the shot clock, scoring super fast, allowing me to shoot my middies and not really limiting my game, and I can just play my pro-style game.
Is he going to be able to shoot those middies in the NBA?
I think he can because of his advantage height-wise. It's getting to that spot and rising up, and he's shown he can do that. I go back to the game against UConn in the second half when I feel like that's one of the best games he played because all he cared about that entire time was just figuring out a way to win the game. And in the second half, he did so many things: the offensive rebounds, the assists, the drives and ones. So I don't feel like he'll have a hard time getting middies. He may have a harder time than he thinks getting to the rim in the NBA because I think everybody has almost like a, whoa, these guys are big. And in a game where Wemby's in there, getting to the rim, as Jaden McDaniels talked with the T-Wolves, I mean, their recipe for beating Denver was getting to the rim. Mm-hmm. And it was just not the same. With Wemby in the presence, so I think that's the key. So his ability to affect the game, he'll be able to affect the game from day one. It's just then there's a learning process to figure out how can I then expand it, and for him it's becoming a consistent 3-point shooter. That's what he has to, that's his biggest thing is he's got to prove to people I can knock this shot down consistently enough. And people said the same thing last year about Yegor. And he went in and shot the ball great this year. So that's what he has to prove in his time. Everybody believes he's got the spirit for it. He's got the head for it. Certainly the body and the ability to react to what's going on the floor. Can he make that shot consistently? And that's going to be the big question for AJ.
So I've heard this. I've asked this question to multiple people in the coaching worlds, and I've gotten from people that I really respect and trust, 2 differing opinions on this. How much can you really, truly improve shooting? Like, there's a certain age where your shot seems to be your shot. But where is that, and how much can you improve once you get to that point? There's guys like, who's the guy that broke his arm? Was it Brewer that broke his arm and he had the funky shot? Like, you weren't going to fix that. Like, he was always going to be pretty rough shooting the basketball. But then I see a guy like Paul Millsap, who I watched him a lot in college when he was at Louisiana Tech in the old WAC when they were playing Utah State. The dude couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, and he ends up being a pretty good shooter in the NBA. So when you look at a guy that may not shoot the ball particularly well, especially from beyond the 3-point line, how much can that shot be improved? Is it just go back into how much time you're willing to spend in the gym and work on it, and how much good coaching there is to work on your form and things like that? Or is it pretty much you are what you are?
I think the answer is actually both. I think there are some guys that, just the way that they manhandle the ball with their hands, there is a piece to this that you get back to the fundamentals where it's fingertips. And, it was interesting. I watched Danny Ainge work with Bryce Sensabaugh when he got here. He's a good 3-point shooter, but that first year he shot 43% from three. And so much of it had to do with how he got the ball released from his hands down to that finer point. I think AJ, he can be a good 3-point shooter. I think he can improve. There was a guy that came out in the draft who I was absolutely in love with a couple years ago, Castle, who's just playing his tail off right now for the Spurs. And that was the knock on him, is he can't, consistently shoot the three. Well, this year he shot it 33%. In the regular season, I think that's just about good enough. I mean, you make enough. In the postseason, he's shooting 44% from three. So he's a guy that people didn't know if he could improve as a 3-point shooter. He's showing he can. I think AJ's got the right makeup because he wants to be great and he listens. He's a sponge. So I think he gets into the league and they really, really tear it down and work on it. He seems to be a guy that could get it better, but it's interesting. We got to talk to Locke when he's on next because he's done a whole big old spreadsheet, as you can imagine, on guys that have actually improved their shooting. I haven't gone to those lengths.
Because you're a down-to-earth, normal human
Well, I have
being.
grandkids, too.
Yeah.
David's, he called me from Tucson. He's just hanging out in Tucson, just chilling down there in his new house.
Oh, I knew they were looking at a place.
They bought something. It's supposed to be really nice. He wants us to come do a show down there.
I don't believe you.
No, he does.
Really?
Yeah. Lloyd, too.
Yeah, I don't know about that. We got some. I'm going to bring my wife in, do a little couples counseling for you and David because we got to get you guys back right again.
I think we want him back. We had the sounder.
I'm already moving on.
No.
Don't move on.
It's okay.
Let's not give up here.
Hey, it's okay. You know what? There's some hurt feelings. I don't know where it came from.
Don't give up.
It came from you.
Don't ever give up.
You were the one that.
You're right. It was me. It was me, not you. It was me. And I can't say sorry enough.
But are you surprised that he has a spreadsheet on that very topic?
No, not at all.
Lloyd, are you surprised that he has a spreadsheet on that very topic?
No.
Okay. So
and by the way, just for the record, when Locke came back into the market, so I wasn't around Salt Lake City. I know you interned for him back in the day.
I did.
But I wasn't around David Locke 1.0. I got David Locke 2.0, the show host. And even from then to now, he's chilled out a little bit. I can't imagine what 1.0 was like.
Well, you said throwing pencils. That was daily. I remember sticking, because they had walls like this that were, soundproof, and the pencil would stick right in the wall. I'd duck my head.
I'm sure that went over well with engineers.
I didn't even get those conversations. I was just trying to save my own life. The crazy man at the mic.
All right, so you bring up a really good point in Yegor, because that was a guy that the knock on him was he couldn't shoot threes. And then he comes out his rookie year in the NBA and ends up being a really good 3-point shooter.
I mean, he went on a stretch. I think his first, 25 makes in the NBA were threes.
And it seemed like he caught fire at the end of his time at BYU, too. I remember in the tournament started to shoot the three ball well. So sometimes guys can evolve, and sometimes even in the course of a season into their rookie year, they can get better. And, Yegor was certainly one of those guys that – okay, so it's not Damon anymore, right?
It's Dioman. Who knew?
Yeah.
He hardly knew. You know what he shot this year from three for the season?
I'm going to go...
In 52 games.
52 games. I'm going to go 38.
38.5. But, a guy that was... Everybody was saying he'll never break 30.
Yeah.
In his very first year. So
he's pushing 40.
Yeah, you can't put the blinders on. You got to be able to look at technique, footwork, everything that affects a shot, and say, where can we work with that? And some guys, like Jamal Wilkes back in the day, You probably don't remember Jamal Wilkes.
I know. I know the name.
But Jamal Wilkes would bring the ball. He's a right-handed guy. He'd catch it. He'd bring it all the way around the left side of his body over the top of his head. It was the damnedest thing I've ever seen. But he was Jamal Wilkes. They called him Silk. He was great. So you make enough shots, you can shoot however you want.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
If it goes in, why mess with it?
It's a results-oriented business. I heard Chris Hill say today, you take a job knowing that there is a way I keep this job. It's not staying under budget. It's not getting a ton of guys on the honor roll. Those help. It's wins.
Yeah.
You got to win.
Nobody gets fired from their job because they didn't have enough, their GPA wasn't high enough. It just doesn't happen.
No.
Nobody gets fired because they're like, yeah, we know we won a conference tournament and we feel really good about the direction of our team from a win-loss standpoint, but the kids just aren't doing well in the classroom. So we're going to have to go a different direction. Now, they will use that as an excuse to fire you when you're not winning. Like, hey, you know what? Our GPA is dropped and blah, blah, blah. Like, they'll use that against you. But, and you might work in a few bonuses for you in your contract if they do hit certain things. But at the end of the day, that's not saving your job. You're right. It's just about wins and losses.
It is. And basketball and basketball players, it's about how much does that ball go through the basket? And particularly in this day and age from three. Because it is a huge part of the game, 35 to 40, sometimes you see into the 50s shots, 3-point shots taken a night. So it's a way that you're measured nightly. And I do believe in my heart of hearts that he can become a pretty good 3-point shooter. I think he can shoot 33.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then the other thing is, he takes those middies, as he talked about, are those middies a result of the fact that, speaking of David Locke, talked about so much traffic in the paint that he had to take those mid-range jumpers, and he may not have to lean on those when he gets to a league that has a little bit more importance on space, and he may have a little bit more room to run. Well,
if he came to the Jazz, spacing is going to be about as pristine as you'll see. Because if you think about their team and who they can put out on the floor, you've got shooters at every spot. You've got a rim roller who can pop from time to time to be a fly in the ointment in Kessler. He made a bunch of threes to start the season. I don't think he's ever going to become Brook Lopez, but I think he can make enough to keep people honest, and that's what you want. So he's incredible at rolling. He can occasionally pop. More importantly, he's a dominant rebounder and rim runner. So you're vertically stretching the team. Every single time you get the ball, that team's really having to account for, 94 feet. And then once you get into the half court, you've got Lowry, you got Jaren Jackson, you got Keontae, you got an ace that comes in, Bryce, Flip. I mean, every one of those guys can dribble, pass, and shoot. So for a guy like AJ, yeah, he's going to play, if he were to come here, he'll play in a ton of great space. And the middies will actually be easier to get to. The thing he's going to have to, probably more than anything in his game, he's going to have to give up dribbling so much.
Yeah.
He just dribbles too much. And he's had to get to his spots, but he's going to have to figure out how to move the ball, pass the ball, get off the ball, and make plays coming, back or off pin downs or cutting. There's all sorts of ways to score off the ball, and that's where he's got to get better.
I always reference Tom Nasalki every now and then. Tom would be like, it looks like he's getting paid by the dribble out there.
Yeah, I told you, Coach Rose put Jonathan Tavanari on dribble restriction. Because he just say, you dribble more than twice and bad things happen. So if I just restrict you dribbling altogether, then
nothing bad's going to happen.
You just either shoot it or pass it, buddy.
Yep.
Make it easy for you.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Mom, can you tell me a story?
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did you have to fight a dragon?
Nope. She bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.
It's time to saddle up and talk about the winners and the losers. This is the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, here's the good.
It is your good, it is your bad, it is your ugly, right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. All right, let's start with the good, Coach. A man who will join us coming up here in just about an hour from right now, Sam Merrill, Bountiful High grad. Coach, you had him just on the brink of committing to BYU.
Yeah, he was close. Very, very close. I think the joke is, we just didn't try hard enough.
He'd let you know pretty quick. This wasn't one that just kind of slipped through the cracks. You knew he was going to be a good player.
Oh, man. Yeah, everybody knew he was going to be good. I didn't know he was going to be this good.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought he was going to be incredible as a college player, but you just don't see it a ton where homegrown Utah guys, get that opportunity. And, he got his opportunity, made the most of, being in the league, and now he's kicked the door down. I mean, doing what he did last night, he'll never buy a meal in Cleveland.
Cleveland, by the way, loves him.
Well, you've got to love him. How do you not love him?
He has just turned over that fan base. And, sometimes people just connect with certain fan bases. He is connected with that fan base out in Cleveland. And good for him. Look, I don't think Cleveland was ever on his bingo board of where he would go and flourish in his NBA career, but he has certainly done just that. And one of the reasons why, according to Sam, is Donovan Mitchell.
I feel like even though we've only played together for now 4 years, 3.5, 4 years, I feel like the Utah days for him I was a part of because I was in Utah. I was at Utah State. I grew up a Jazz fan. Like, that was very important to me. Like, I was at his first game. I went to a couple playoff games his rookie year. So you're not going to find a guy more happy for him than I am. But I know he wants more, and we all want more.
He would go on to say that when he was with the G League team, Donovan would come over and say, when they would get off the court and then the Cavs would come on the court, that he'd come over and say, hey, you're doing this well, coach him up. And look, from a personal standpoint, I know Sam is very, very, very loyal to Donovan Mitchell. I'll just say that. Like, he's very keenly aware of what people say about him, and he will bring the army with him if he feels like Donovan Mitchell's getting slighted, because what Donovan's meant to him in his career, Sam would take a bullet for him. Well,
I'm thrilled for Donovan, too, because he did something he's really struggled to do, and that's, drag that team over the hump. And it's hard to do. I mean, the great ones figure it out, and he's had the DNA of great, but for him right now, this is so big for him. And he did it the right way. Like I mentioned, Donovan got into that game, and it wasn't about how can I go get buckets. He set his guys up. He ended up with 8 assists on the night. I thought he played his most active game of the series. And then back to Sam, he wasn't even in the rotation the first couple games of the series, right? He kind of sat the bench because they worried about the physicality, and it got to a point where they just had to play him. Sam Merrill is the type of guy you look down there and you're like, I know that dude will help us. Not that he can. I know that if I put him in the game, he will help us. And I mean, that's the best feeling as a coach, to look down the bench and have a guy like Sammy sitting there.
And you talk about physicality. He took one of the nastiest shots.
We got to ask him about that. He did a Ryland Jones impression. Got ragdolled.
But he gets up like, all right, let's go. That was impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to know if he knew where he was, because his eyes told me in the beginning he thought he might have been back in Logan, getting ready to eat some Aggie ice cream.
Either that or, he's suiting up for Bountiful and getting up and being like, okay, let's.
El Matador, anyone?
When's that pep rally?
He's a big Mandarin fan.
Oh, I'm a huge Mandarin fan. You go there one time, you're a Mandarin fan.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, I remember talking to him when, a couple of years ago when he was really getting into the NBA world and fitness and stuff like that. Like Sam, if you saw Sam now versus when he was at Utah State, looks like a completely different human being. The rigors of an NBA and the NBA training things it's ridiculous. And I said, wow, it looks like you aren't making a lot of trips to Mandarin. He's like, oh, no, I still find a way to make there.
Well, he works it off now.
Yeah.
But he is in incredible shape.
Yeah.
Majerus used to talk about the Mandarin all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. To people would come in here and he would, where should we eat? You got to drive a while. But if you want better Mexican food than you can get anywhere but maybe New York, go to the Mandarin. That's what you tell people.
Oh, all right, 11:38, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. That's your good. Let's get to the bad.
Now the bad.
He just won't go away. Aaron Rodgers.
Who's this bad for? The Steeler fans?
Yeah, I feel bad for the Steeler fans. I feel bad for the NBA or the NFL too, just because it's like it's time to move on. Like, not only is there another generation of quarterbacks behind you, now there's another generation behind them. Like, you're a grandpa of the NFL, for crying out loud. And the fact is, if you can still play, great. If somebody's still willing to pay you to play, great. He's going to make upwards of $25 million, a one-year contract with the Pittsburgh Steelers. But if you're Pittsburgh, you've been kind of held hostage by Rodgers because he makes this decision in the end of May. He doesn't make this decision in February before free agency. So Pittsburgh has to go throughout free agency not knowing what he's going to do. Then they go through the draft not knowing what he's going to do. And so all of those eras get over. If he would have said no, Pittsburgh's like, oh, geez, we got to find a quarterback. Now, fortunately for Pittsburgh, he's coming back. But even then, he makes it really hard to prepare for the future because he just is so wishy-washy. He's got to go to some tent in a, in a desert somewhere for 40 days without drinking water and figuring out what he's going to do with his life. And I'm not hating on that. I might go through that too sometime. But I'm not going to I'm not going to hold my company hostage while I do that.
Do you think it's a tent or a yurt?
Or yurt, yeah, sorry. Yeah.
That's all right. A yurt.
What's the difference between doing it in a tent
Well,
or a
yurt's
yurt?
just a little more upscale for a guy making $22-25 million a year.
Yurt's like glamping.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah. A tent, you kind of take.
Oh, excuse me, Coach.
Ooh, I was just, yeah.
We're just, yeah.
I do feel bad for Steeler fans. My cousin Brett, who next gen guy, he's a Steeler fan, and I just watched him last year. Unless Mike McCarthy's offense is way different, which it probably will be. The Steelers have been running the offense of Chuck Noll from 1979 all this time.
Tomlin's like, you know what? I'm done with this. I don't want to deal with this.
But Rodgers, to me, just didn't look like he could compete last year. To you, did he? To you guys?
No. I mean, he still put up numbers.
Right, but I'm just saying when the crowd got real.
No. And honestly, too, when you've got a guy that's so concerned about staying upright and healthy, as any of us in our 40s are, but I don't want my NFL quarterback concerned about that. Like you've got to be able to take a hit every now and then. And his unwillingness to put his body on the line for good reason, when you get that age, you are going to try to protect yourself, but that doesn't help you win games.
No, it doesn't help you win games. And, I mean, I think forever, it was kind of the unpredictability that actually worked in his favor.
Yes.
I can't imagine that's the case now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just got a text from my cousin saying, thanks for the plug, Steelers. He's a Steeler man.
All right. So, and by the way, big fan of what they do down there at Next Gen.
Yeah. Clients.
So Brett, if you're listening, are you thumbs up, thumbs down on this? Like, I'm really curious to know where he's at.
He's going to be the pulse of Steeler Nation.
Is he celebrating the fact that Aaron Rodgers is back and like, all right, Steeler country, let's ride? Or if he's like, oh boy.
So, Coach, are you wanting the Steelers to be good?
No, I'm a Raider man.
Okay, all right. Immaculate reception, right?
Right.
Okay.
Franco.
Good. I'm glad you're with me.
Franco.
You know what?
Good. I'm glad you're with me.
One thing I really admire about Coach is when he sinks his teeth into something, he's
Absolutely,
all in.
he is.
Just like your predecessor, Hans, was a lifelong Raiders fan. And so we need that tradition to continue.
Yeah, that wasn't very lifelong.
Was he only a Raider fan on the show?
He was only a Raider fan on the show, and it was just to annoy me.
No, he was diehard.
No,
I've got like four pieces of paraphernalia.
But with Coach,
coming.
I actually feel it. I feel his fandom. Like, I really do. It's like, all right, he's one of me. He's one of us.
We're going down there together,
love it.
dude. Take the boys.
I like it.
Hey, are the Broncos playing the Steelers this year?
Yeah, let's get that. That could be the one.
That would be fun. I don't know if they're on the same docket, but yeah, we'll find a way to. That could be a problem on the show. That's
going to be a tough week. We got to bring Brody in so you have reinforcement.
Yeah.
Got to be even.
All right. 11:42, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Let's get to the ugly.
And of course, the ugly.
Lloyd, you mentioned this earlier with Rory McIlroy essentially hitting a bad shot. Somebody starts chanting, USA, USA. And Rory turns around and says, you out. Now, should it really be up to a player to be judge and jury on if somebody should be thrown out. And honestly, look, was it ill-timed? Perhaps. Was it horrible? No, I don't think so. It wasn't derogatory. It wasn't sexist. It wasn't, racially motivated or sexually motivated. Like of all the things to say, USA, it's a fun little jab because that gets under Rory's skin. Rory does not like playing in the Ryder Cup when it's in the U.S. because he thinks the fans are
ugly Americans,
or ugly Americans. He hates that. And so how do you get under his skin? Well, you act the role of an ugly American. Now, is that worth getting thrown out? I would say absolutely not. And it's not because I'm like pro-USA. I am. But I'm also like, if you're getting rattled by that guy, then you've got bigger problems than homeboy over there yelling USA. Your skin is extremely thin. And the fact that this guy spent a ton of money to get out there on that course, and he's cheering, he's having a good time, he probably had a couple beers, he didn't say anything derogatory, all he said was USA, and he's going to get tossed for that? Come on, we're on a slippery slope because now we're letting players make the definition of what offends them, and they get to choose whether you get bounced or not. But, Lloyd, you're right. The dude got, in golf terms, ejected. It's like that little seat in Knight Rider.
USA.
When you get the little seat and go, ejection.
He was DQ'd. The galleryman was DQ'd. A couple follow-up items. The Raiders and Broncos do indeed play this year on my anniversary in Mile High.
In Mile High. Well, yeah, they'll play twice. I meant the Steelers and Broncos.
Oh, Steelers, Broncos.
Did I say Raiders, Broncos?
No, you said Steelers.
Oh, okay.
You said
I
Steelers,
was just
Broncos.
thinking with my own dome.
No. Well, in division, they'd play twice.
But I'm a Raider. I think Raiders.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. If we're going to go collectively as a show to a Broncos-Raiders game, it should be in Vegas.
Because it's already like a home game. Yeah, I'll probably get killed in Denver.
Yeah, because
we'll get killed in Denver.
You guys would, because you guys would be all geared out, and knowing Lloyd would be provoking people.
No, I wouldn't.
I'm not above going nondescript. I've done that. I did the Oakland A's game. I went to Game 5.
No, see, that's the part. You got to go as a fan. You have to wear your gear. And now Scotty feels comfortable going to Vegas because it's pretty much a home game anyways.
But that just adds a layer of trouble. You can avoid that trouble by going nondescript. You still be a fan.
Nah, let's get crazy. Let's put on some gear.
Second piece of follow-up. The thumb is in the middle on this.
Oh, the middle.
We're waiting for next year's QB draft class.
Oh, okay.
Which is the story of the Steelers for as long as I can remember.
Big Ben's not walking through that door.
Or waddling or rolling through that. He's got to be massive now.
That's a guy that you got to think. That's probably a reason why he hasn't made a lot of public appearances. There's certain guys that when they step away from the game, that weight might balloon a little bit. He seems like he could be that guy.
He was so big as a player.
Yeah.
Like he was right on the edge of, hey, I can still move around.
Yeah. Well, that's what made him so great. The dude was impossible to tackle. He kept so many plays alive on 3rd and long that he was just absolutely incredible because nobody could tackle the guy.
I looked him up. I can't find his current weight.
Yeah,
I thought I couldn't today.
He's like, I'm gonna hang out a little bit. I'm gonna enjoy my money and not let anybody see me for a bit. All right, 11:46, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Coming up in about 45 minutes. Sam Merrill, fresh off that 23-point performance in game number 7 in the Eastern Conference semifinals. We will chat with Sammy coming up at 12:30 right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Ready or not, summer is coming, and Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance is on now. Right now through May 25th, get up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus, score amazing doorbuster deals all sale long and surprise flash deals on Memorial Day. We're talking thousands of products at every style and budget. Now is the time to save big on must-haves for your patio, backyard, and beyond. These savings won't last, so don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance now through May 25th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Mammoth and the Utes, Cougars, and Aggies. When it comes to sports in Utah, we've got you covered. This is Scotty G and the coach, Tim LeCaux, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Scott Gerard, the coach. Tim Lacombe. Happy Monday. See, there's a lot of people out there, Coach, that they dread Monday. They hate Mondays. Whereas here, Mondays is like our favorite day. We got tons to talk about. We got a weekend to recap. We got all the games, everything going on. Mondays is like our Friday, like everybody else's Friday.
I've learned that in the last couple weekends because I definitely had the Sunday scaries all through my life, even in coaching, because you had to go pick up the pieces from what was, whether it's a win and everybody's over the moon and it's going to have to bring them back to earth, or everybody's busted up. You got to bring them all back together. Those days are tough. Mondays are tough, period. But for me, since I got in this radio biz, I love Mondays. It's like I sit around all weekend just making notes of stuff I see. Because that's all I just watch sports anyway.
Yeah.
It's my life.
Yeah. And now you have an excuse to.
Yes, honey, I've got for work. I've got to watch this golf tournament.
Yeah, I know I told you I would, do the dishes or I'd repaint the, whatever. Like, I can't right now. I'm working. Like, you're sitting with a beverage watching a game. Yeah, I know.
You see my notepad?
I'm working.
You see my notepad? Yeah. There's notes on this pad.
I see you under a minky blanket watching sports all day on the couch. And you're like, I know.
Guilty. It's exactly what I did. I got a minky blanket when I was up there for my wife. And, of course, it's become my favorite.
Yes.
Blanket.
Yeah.
It's like the bowling ball. Did you see this story on Urban Meyer that just dropped?
I did not. Uh-oh. Urban get himself into trouble again?
No, they've been doing arbitration with the Jags, trying to figure out if they owe him the remainder of his contract or not. And today, this came out about 25 minutes ago, the Jaguars actually won. And Urban has lost his grievance. It's going to save the Jags $30 million.
Ooh.
So take that, Herb.
Independent arbiter ruled that the Jaguars were able to fire Urban Meyer with cause and would not have to pay him more than $30 million for the final 4 years. There's nothing that makes coaches more nervous than the words fired with cause. Now, without cause, then you know what? You're going to get your money or a good chunk of that money. Fired with cause, that's when they're like, nope, we're not going to pay you a dime, and good luck trying to get any of it. And Urban took him to court, and sure enough, nothing.
So obviously was fired in December of 21. He was only the coach for 11 months and had the illustrious record of 2-11. But really what stands out of the off-field incidents is some a little more public than others. But I did, the one allegation by the kicker that Meyer actually kicked him in the leg while he was stretching during warm-ups of the final preseason game.
Call that a Tuesday with Scotty G.
I'd stop.
That's just saying hello.
Look, there was another guy that physically assaulted you on the regular. I have not done that.
You took part.
I didn't. No, I just took pictures. I took pictures.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to go find that picture of you just sitting there watching with a big smile on your face.
I have no recollection of that.
Yeah, so the big winner today, $30 million winner.
That would be it. And sometimes those arbiters come back and like, all right, look, I see both sides. Cut him a check for 10, 12.
Call it good.
And call it good. But the fact they're like, no, you don't owe him anything. It means that was a pretty slam dunk case for the Jaguars.
Get back to broadcasting, Herb. You're still getting a check.
Yeah,
make up that $30 million quick.
And by the way, you're just fine.
I imagine you're just fine, unless Sister Meyer outspent.
Shell Bell?
Shell Bell probably spent a little. I don't know, maybe.
Shelley made more appearances on sports radio than he did.
I know,
when they were in Salt. Oh, man.
She was a regular.
Yeah.
But those were fun times at the University of Utah, I'll tell you. I was a season ticket holder for Meyer's seasons, and it was fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah. All right. Cole's hanging out with us right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Need to get those carpets cleaned. Spring is here, and people are thinking about spring cleaning. I went out, cleaned out the garage. Everybody's trying to go through all their stuff, making sure their house is ready for all the summer occasions. There's a lot of graduations, maybe farewells going on right now. And Cole, let's get those carpets cleaned, and you're offering an incredible deal with Zerorez.
Couldn't agree more. Now is the time. We're offering for today, tomorrow only, $35 per room of carpet cleaning. Doesn't matter how many rooms you have, we'll go clean them all for $35 a room.
$35 a room. And this is, if you haven't had the Zerorez experience, people hear the patented water technology and they think, well, these are carpets. I have to get, these nasty chemicals and shampoos into that carpet to get it clean. That's not the case. You guys have a patented technology where you can avoid all that and still get great, beautifully clean carpets.
We definitely do. We clean with a high pH oxidized water. So it has the same cleaning properties as those soaps and detergents, but we don't use any of them. So we use a high pH water. Normal water is around a pH of a 7. Our cleaning water is a pH of around 11. So it has the same great results, but no harmful chemicals left behind. And we're the only ones in Utah that can clean that way.
I've got a ton of friends that have pets, and obviously pets are great, but they also leave stains that need to be cleaned up. Is that something y'all can attack?
Of course. We have depends on the severity of the stains. We have different things for it. So it depends if there's a spot your dog loves going in, we have certain things we can go and suck everything right out. It's like a giant suction tool that just pulls everything out all the way down to the pad. We can get it all taken care of. And then you don't have to worry about any chemicals for your pet to walk on because we don't use any. So you're safe after too.
You know, one thing that we've talked about in the past, and I think people need to really remember as they fire up their air conditioner, you do air duct cleanings, and we talk about spring cleaning, the carpets, those air ducts, that's the air you're breathing, and you need to get those at a high level.
Definitely. People think if they just change their filter every month, they're going to breathe clean air, but that's not really how it works. Your air ducts is the lungs of your home. So nothing really gets taken out of that until you get it professionally cleaned. So our cleaning is a giant truck mounted system. It removes everything in those vents. We'll go each vent. And also for the sale, we're doing 20% off air duct cleaning as well. So it's a great time to call.
Let's go.
If you need that service.
Let's get it done, folks. It's really simple. Simple phone call, 866-0RES. Spelled the same forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean. It is Zerorez. You can also go to Zerorez.com. But call now, get on the books, and enjoy that special $35 per room. That's it at Zerorez.com. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Ready or not, summer is coming, and Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance is on now. Right now through May 25th, get up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus, score amazing doorbuster deals all sale long and surprise flash deals on Memorial Day. We're talking thousands of products at every style and budget. Now is the time to save big on must-haves for your patio, backyard, and beyond. These savings won't last, so don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance now through May 25th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
If you love podcasts, you already know how to fit great stories into your busy day. So why not do the same thing with books? Everand is an affordable audiobook and ebook subscription that goes wherever you go. Your commute, your workout, your grocery run. No rearranging your schedule, no carving out reading time. Just hit play. For a limited time, new members get 2 free books when they start a free trial. Go to everand.com/listen to claim yours. That's EVERAND.com/listen.